boxing on Channel 5. Defending his name, his legacy, Harlem Eubank. Battling his way up the super lightweight rankings. Can he remain undefeated? Big Fight Live, Eubank versus Uruzquieta, Friday at 10 on Channel 5.
Razaban IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. With me on Zoom, I think he's in America, heavyweight contender, Otto Wallin. Otto, thank you for jumping on, my man. Firstly, how are we doing?
Good, thank you. Yes, I mean, I'm here in America, in New York, and I was just watching the fights.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, we just saw Joshua return after back-to-back defeats from Alexander Usyk against Jermaine Franklin. A lot of people said that, look, he should get Jermaine out within 6 rounds. Just your overall assessment of the fight.
Yeah, I think it actually played out the way I thought it was going to be playing out. I think that Jermaine, he came in, dangerous guy, has some skills that he showed with Whyte, and I know him from the past, so I know that he had some skills and some ability. So I said beforehand that I think Jermaine's going to come in, give him some problems, but Joshua eventually win a decision is what I said. So I'm happy that happened. It happened that way.
What did you make of, obviously? Did you see any noticeable changes in Joshua? Obviously, he's linked up with Derek James.
I think that he tried to stick to his jab more, maybe threw some more body shots, and I think that's really good for him. He probably wanted to be more committed to the jab than what he was, because when he was using it, he was landing a lot. So he could have used it, kept it more consistent, and then keep hitting the body that he was trying to do, some uppercuts, and he actually landed some few good body shots mid-rounds, I think. So I think that's probably what their plan was. Use the jab, dominate with that, and then follow up with the bigger punches.
It became almost a bit of an ugly fight towards the end. There was a lot of holding, and referee had to separate them on a number of occasions. Did you expect Joshua to commit more and throw more combination punches?
Well, he hasn't been lately. He started out doing that, with Dillian Whyte, Brazil, Kevin Johnson, those type of guys. He was letting his hands go, and I think he had a different mindset back then, because he hadn't gone the distance, and he didn't know how hard it was, and he never gassed out before. So I think that's changed him a little bit. That he's more worried, he's more cautious now. So he doesn't dare to throw his hands as much as he used to. And also, when he would hit these guys with the shots that he hit Jermaine with today, they will fall. So I think that's in his head a little bit.
You mentioned that he doesn't hit the guys as he usually used to. A lot of people say, Andy Ruiz changed that mindset for Joshua, but a lot of people will probably say Vladimir Klitschko probably changed that mindset with Joshua, because since then Joshua really hasn't been the same fighter that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, I think he just, maybe Klitschko did something with him that Joshua realized that, hey, shit, this is heavyweight boxing. I can get dropped. I can get knocked out. I'm not untouchable, and then coming into the Ruiz fight, he got stopped there. So I think he's lost a lot of confidence, and I think you can tell that. I think he feels a lot of pressure to perform and to knock guys out, and it's not really there for him. You can't push it. And I think the way he came up, he didn't have those insecurities. He wasn't scared of letting his hands go and get tired, but he is now, I think.
Throughout the fight, he had kind of almost a stern face, looked like a focused face, but on the other hand, you could potentially read it as a face of someone who was under pressure, who was under the spotlight. Did you kind of get that vibe as well?
Yeah, I do. I can see why people say, "Oh, he's focused, he's this and that," but honestly, it looks to me like he's very under much pressure. Too much. He's under too much pressure, and that's weighing on him. And he's trying to please people. I think that all this pressure has just got to him, and he feels like it's probably very hard for him to go from being on the top of the world to be not the champ anymore, and people criticizing him and this and that. And I think he's always been a guy that cares what people think. So I think that's a big issue.
Also, one of the great trainers here from the UK, Dominic Ingle from the Ingle Gym, he said in an interview a number of weeks ago that he feels that Joshua has passed his peak, his best days. He's had his best days. Would you align yourself to those as well?
Maybe. I mean, I don't see him as the same guy anymore. But I think he can come back. But right now, he's not looking his best. I think that the biggest thing is his mind. I think that seems like his mind is a little off. Like I said, all the pressure and everything, and also what happened after the fight again. That was just strange. And it's not like if he wants to be a tough guy. I mean, tough guys usually don't do stuff like that. So it's just kind of weird. It's like I don't know where it's coming from, but I guess it's all the pressure. That's what I think.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Obviously, Joshua went on the mic afterwards during his interview and he apologized and said he didn't want to almost bring back the days of Saudi Arabia when he took the mic of Alexander Usyk. But it seemed like after the fight he tapped Jermaine on his head. Jermaine didn't like it, and then all of a sudden they're in each other's faces, and then a member of Jermaine's team then pushes Joshua and it gets a little bit messy. But again, not out of hand.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the whole situation was weird. I felt like that tap that he did to Jermaine after was very disrespectful. I don't know why he would do that. And it was, I don't know, strange to me. Strange. And it's like what happened after the Usyk fight, what happened now is like, you can't keep doing these things and then just apologize, think it's okay. And like, I felt like it was disrespectful.
Jermaine Franklin, let's talk a little bit about him. Did you expect him to do more? Somebody that you know well, obviously from your side of the world. Do you expect him to do a lot more, especially towards the end of the fight, where a lot of people thought that all the extra weight that Joshua was carrying might just slow him down?
No, I think that Joshua is probably in a lot better shape than Jermaine. I know that Jermaine is probably in the best shape of his life, but he's dedicated himself for this fight. But guys like Josh has been dedicating himself to the game for 10, 15 years and training very hard always. So I felt that I expected Joshua to be stronger later on.
Did you expect him to put more of a devastating performance, almost sending a message to those top heavyweights that are out there? We saw Deontay Wilder when he lost a few. He came back against Helenius, vicious knockout. Did you expect almost something similar?
No, I didn't. I think that Joshua wanted to, but he wasn't able to. I think that, I mean, I said, you can check on my Twitter. I said that Joshua is going to win a decision beforehand. So I felt like that was how he's going to go. And that was just judging from his past few fights.
He spoke at the end and he said, listen, I want to have the big fights. He mentioned Tyson Fury's name. He didn't mention, I don't think he mentioned Dylan Whyte's name or Deontay Wilder's name, etc. Which fight would you like to see him have next?
I want to see him fight me next. I really honestly want to fight him, and I think I can beat him. And it's kind of painful for me to just sit on the couch here and just wait for the fight. And I want to be in the ring. I want to do the fighting, and I think I can do a really good job against him.
Yeah, what gives you that belief that you'll be able to give him a really good fight?
Well, I think that just in the place he's at right now, I think that I'm in a much better place than what he is, and he feels all the pressure. And once we get in the ring, I'll do my best to beat him. And once he starts realizing, oh shit, this is gonna be hard, and I make him miss, make him pay those type of things, and he's gonna start looking around and maybe hearing boos and this and that, and then it's just gonna be downward from there. I think that I'm in a much better place than what he is.
We obviously saw when he fought Alexander Usyk. Obviously, Alexander is a southpaw, and he had a lot of trouble with the southpaw stance. We know Charles Martin's a southpaw, but obviously Charles Martin's not on the level of Usyk. You're a southpaw as well. Eddie's gone on camera many times and talked about how we almost want to not avoid the southpaw, but we rather not have a southpaw. Do you feel like the fact that you're a southpaw puts you further behind in the queue because of the attributes you have?
Yeah, it might, and that's also irritating me, of course. I want to be first in line, so but I can fight righty too. So if they listen to this, I can come out fight righty if they want to.
I mean, maybe your next fight just fight orthodox, and they may just pick you next.
Right, that's maybe what I'm gonna do.
I got to ask you also just briefly. Everyone wants to see the Fury fight. We know they've been trying to make it for years, and like Joshua said during his post-fight interview, that we're getting older. These fights need to happen. Dylan Whyte is waiting around. Dylan wants a rematch with Anti Joshua. He hasn't fought since last November, so he doesn't even have a date. If Joshua goes towards Wilder Fury or Joe Joyce and Dylan Whyte's free, want to make that fight happen?
Dylan White, yes, of course, of course. I mean, I would love that. I would love that. I mean, I was gonna fight Dylan. I was 1.5 years ago. He pulled out last minute, so I would love that. And yes, to set the record straight and show everybody that I'm better than him and beat him, and then I think that will lead to a lot of great things for me.
I'll end on this, Otto. A number of years ago, Anti Joshua was regarded as, an unbelievable heavyweight, a guy explosive, comes out, knocks everybody out. As a heavyweight yourself, when you look at Anti Joshua, how would you describe him?
I think that he was. I mean, I think that he was. He did really well. He knocked out Klitschko. He knocked out a lot of guys. I mean, even a guy like Kevin Johnson that's never been stopped before. Fought the Klitschko's. Everybody. I mean, Kevin Johnson fought everybody, and Joshua was the one to stop him in 2 rounds. I think honestly that was really impressive. But I mean, Joshua, he's done a great job. He's done really well for himself. So I think people are very hard on him sometimes because they expect a lot from him. Yeah, I think that on his way up, he was really good and dangerous guy.
Otto, I appreciate you jumping on, giving me a few minutes of time and giving your thoughts on Joshua's performance. Stay well, and hopefully we'll catch up with you when you got some fight news.
You too. Thank you very much.
Otto Wallin, IFL TV, thank you very much.
We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,